Mixing your paints is half the battle.
Spiky Bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and today I'm doing a bit of a look back at a product we showed you a little over a year ago, I guess, at this point, give or take. This is the Vortex Paint Mixer, which at the time was relatively new to the hobby. You know, you started seeing them, using them here and there, and I picked one up just to try it. And, you know, there was all sorts of fun comments when I was unboxing it and showing how exactly it worked and all the different styles of paints and all the things it could do and actually mix and make a lot of paints out there usable that you might have, which was really great. And it's super fun to use. I've been using it pretty much all the way straight through. I've mixed at least all my paints, I would say at least once, a lot of them multiple times at this point. And we've had it for about a year, so I figured I'd go back and show you guys, hey, everything's probably good with it. You know, you can pick one up and you're probably not going to have any problems with it. And it's got a really good rating over on Amazon right now. And I think it's definitely a good pickup. The drawbacks to it, and that's pretty much the video, so you have to stop watching now, I guess. The drawbacks to it, of course, is it is a little bit pricey, but there is an alternative product out there that I actually just ordered as I was prepping for this video that maybe I can do a head-to-head comparison on here, I don't know, in a month or two when I have a little bit opening in my schedule to show you guys exactly, you know, is the cheaper one worth it? Because at the end of the day, it's all about saving those hobby dollars and still getting value, a valuable product and a valuable service out there. And of course, in this instance, it's a valuable product. So here is the Lab Genius Vortex Mixer that I showed you guys over a year ago. I don't exactly remember, but we've had this thing for a while. And as I'm about to show you when I demonstrate it again, it's a chunky piece of equipment. Like, you're not gonna accidentally break this thing, I don't think. Maybe the electronics will go out at some point. Haven't had that happen yet, thank God. And it's got a 4.5 star rating out of 5 on Amazon. It's an Amazon choice. But as you can see right here, there is, well, not that one. Yeah, this one right here, there is an alternative, which is the best seller, and it is significantly less expensive than this one. So I ordered it. Both of these come in one day. I guess I'm kind of living in the middle of nowhere, and it's coming in one day, which means I guess these things are kind of stocked all over the place, and people use them for tattoos. They use them obviously for the medical purposes, test tubes and things. But more importantly, you know, a lot of hobbyists are using it to mix their paints, and it does work. And it works on things that you wouldn't think it would actually work on. So real quick, let me just show this to you again. So here it is. All of the electronics components and things are inside. It's kind of sealed shut. I haven't had to get in here and do anything with it quite yet. But this is, like I said, and it's plugged in, just normal, you know, US voltage outlet right there. It's got a little bit of dust that's accumulated in here in this this belly button kind of interface, but really nothing. I mean, you could wipe it down with some 409. I think I've done that a couple times just to kind of keep it clean. I haven't lately. Now this is a chunky piece of steel. You're not gonna accidentally, you might accidentally break your miniatures, but you're not gonna accidentally break this. And it's got these little springy kind of rubbery, but they're sealed in there with locked in with some sort of ratchet. Some sort of screw contraption, I think. But you're not gonna break this thing. Like, you could literally use this as a weapon. It is that chunky and that big. But yeah, this thing's pretty cool. It's easy to just set on your tabletop. You don't have to worry about nothing. Now, this is where there's a little bit of a disconnect, I think, for some people, because they're like, hey, I don't like holding it. I just want something I can put in with a button. And they make shakers for that. I've used them in the past. They've shaken themselves apart, and I've got replacement rubber bands, and those didn't quite work either, unfortunately. So this is kind of where we're at. Now, to activate this thing is super easy, and you can do it one of two ways. You can kind of push in from the bottom here with the end of the bottle or the top of the bottle, or you can do it from here. You can put in some mixing balls if you have them. I think I still have a grip of them here from the Army Painter somewhere, which I tend to do from time to time with particularly clumpy type things. This doesn't have any mixing balls in it. No, it doesn't look like it, but you can tell it's separated. This is the Liberator Gold. It normally comes in kind of a white bottle like this from Games Workshop. I use this relatively on and off for my to match my Sharpie trim. I think it's part of my Sharpie trim recipe. This with Retributor, but you can basically see how this is going to work. Now, some people in the first video, they mentioned that, you know, there might be some connective tissue damage if you do a lot of this over time, which I guess maybe there's some studies, I didn't look it up, for people that use test tubes in a medical setting. I don't feel like everybody's just going to sit here and do this. I mean, it's fun, but I don't feel like you're going to do this through all your paints. I mean, except for in a paint session. So just be aware that, you know, maybe something you should look up. Maybe if you got, you know, you're worried about some connective tissue or some other joint issues in your hands, you know, maybe you don't want to do this. I don't know. I don't feel like I've used it that much personally, but I felt like it was worth mentioning because several people did say something about it in the comments. So now we're just going to take our already pretty much settled thing of paint here and literally just stick it in here and activate it. And you can almost see in the camera that it is, and of course there's some motion in my hands, so you can see it for sure. But you can see how right there, see how it's already started mixing it all the way over. And I'm going to give this another second off camera and finish mixing it up. So after about 5 seconds, I was like, well, let me just try shaking it from the bottom, because I realized there was mixing balls in there that pretty much settled too. So we're just going to hit it from the bottom right here, and you can definitely see through the camera that all of that is already starting to go away. And in a few more seconds, just for dramatic flair, we'll keep the camera going. It's pretty much done. So a paint that's literally probably been sitting on my shelf for, I don't know, 6 to 8 months is mostly completely shaken in, I don't know, I'd say what was that, 30 seconds or so, give or take. Maybe somebody can fact check me there, but it's definitely usable at this point. Maybe I'd put 5 or 10 more seconds into it, and boom, we're good to go on that. But this isn't the only thing it can mix. Like, it mixes all sorts of silly things. I think we had some, what is it, the Nurgle's Rot, the technical paint here. We're gonna try mixing this. So this is one of those interesting ones, just a technical paint, and woof, that's definitely seen some better days there. So let's see what we can do with that. If we're gonna get any sort of fix on that. Let's try it upside down. Ooh, that turned out okay. So another one. I guess it's not a big secret anymore that Army Painters coming out with a airbrush line actually helped test some of their first mixes of that, and they are all pretty good. I didn't have a problem with any of them. Actually, the only problem I had was I added thinner to it instead of just putting it directly into the bottle, which I didn't realize that yeah, these go straight from the pot to the bottle, which was really cool. The problem is that, you know, airbrush paint's inherently settled just because of the nature of the, you know, the binder and the pigment and all that stuff. Any airbrush paint, no matter what it is, like if I was to peel the label back from this Vallejo Air, you would see separation because it's been sitting around for a while as well. But it looks a little weird because we don't have the actual product in front of us right here. We have a basically prototype and beta test that they sent to me to try out. So that being said, it's always good to mix up your airbrush paints, no matter who they're from. The new Army Painter bottles are actually going to have a mixer enclosed inside of it. They upgraded some of their machinery, which was you know, a significant financial investment on their part, I'm sure. And there we go. Sometimes hitting these from this position right here is way more beneficial than doing it from the cap down, but you know, sometimes it's good to kind of mix it up both ways for sure. And we're getting in there and getting everything definitely mixed. These have been sitting around for several months, so it might take a hot minute to get in there, but you can see it's already starting to separate out from that. These were all hand mixed by them, I think, so. But like I said, they came, they turned out pretty well for sure. But having that agitator in there definitely helps, because see, when the label's on there, you can't even tell that it was separated, but here it's only slightly separated, I'm sure. But you know, definitely every airbrush paint you get
keep that in mind. The label kind of shows some of the separation, or hides some of the separation.
So long story short, I think it's safe to say that this hobby product has passed the test. It's been well over a year. I think we're approaching a year and a half since I got this. I've used it a lot. It has been significantly good for my hobby in general, I feel like. So I can't say enough good things about it. Now, always vote with your hobby dollars. It's an expensive piece of equipment. Do you need it? No. Can you shake it with your hand? Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna try out the cheaper one because I feel like for 50 bucks, you know, you kind of got away. Oh, do I not get a box of minis, or do I buy this paint shaker that I'll probably get more use out of than this box of minis? And I feel like $50 is probably more in the range of affordability for most folks out there. So I'll report back on that. Maybe we'll compare both of them together and see the pros and cons of each, and then maybe we'll do a 2 years later video, you know, in a year or so. Who knows? But that's it for this one. You can definitely get the links to all of our essential hobby supplies list, including this Vortex mixer here that you know, it's definitely worth checking out. Of course, we have accompanying tutorials to show you how to use them, if you know, my personal thoughts on them. But generally, if I'm showing you something, I've used it already and I'm feeling very good about it, and I can you know, confidently think and convey to you that you will also get pretty good use out of it. May not be the cheapest, but it'll definitely be at least worth some of your hobby dollars for sure out there. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.